Is correct. Right now we're looking at tornado warning for parts of Marion and Lawrence and Jefferson Davis counties. That warning is going to go for until, I believe, the top of the hour, until 5 p.m. Let's go ahead and take a look at Live Eye Max 2 full screen. Let's go ahead and take a look at Max 2 full screen. You're on Max 1 right now. All right, there we go. Max 2 full screen, and you'll see that we've got the winds that are turning in on each other right there in southern Lawrence County. Remember, over the past half hour, we were on the air because of a tornado warning for Pike and Walthall County. That was let go at 4 p.m., but the National Weather Service out of Jackson decided that they did need to issue on that part of the line because of this rotation that we're looking at right here. You see how the winds are kind of turning in on each other right there, let's say north of Sartonville and south of Robinwood in southern Lawrence County. So this is where we've got our rotation along Highway 27 south of Monticello moving northeast. And there you see that polygon. We're going to query the polygon, and I'm going to read off to you the warning when it was issued at about 5 minutes after 4 o'clock. So the National Weather Service out of Jackson has issued a tornado warning for northern Marion County, that's right here, southern Lawrence County, and also Jefferson Davis County until 5 p.m. At 4:04, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over JS, or 14 miles to the south of Monticello, moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. It is a radar indicated rotation. The storm is going to be near Arm and Oakville at about 4:15. It's a few minutes from right now. Goss and Society Hill at about 4:20. Progress and Bunker Hill at 4:30. Bassfield and Carson at 4:35. And Melba at about 4:40. So that is the latest from the Weather Service, and that means if you are in any of those communities or near there and under a tornado warning, your time to take action is right now. The action you need to take is getting into your safe spot and staying there until the storm is past your area or the storm is weakened and the tornado warning has been canceled. We're going to plug in those numbers in the Live Eye Max 12, and we're going to track this out to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So the rotation is there. We'll track it out to the edge of the polygon over the next hour. That'll take it right up to the Jefferson Davis Covington County line. And again, these are the places that are going to be in the path of the storm. And we've mentioned a couple of these in the verbiage that came out from the National Weather Service in Jackson, but Live Eye Max 12 agreeing with their assessment that Oakville and Society Hill and Bassfield and Terrell are all going to be in the path of this storm over the next several minutes. Current time is about 4:13. It's going to be at Oakville at about the bottom of the hour. Society Hill a few minutes after that. Bassfield near the top of the 5 o'clock hour, and Terrell just past 5 o'clock. So where is this storm? Let's clear up the radar just a bit, and we are just going to put on our reflectivity. So this is the line right there. You don't see anything except heavy rain when we're looking at radar right here. So it is absolutely impossible to tell you where there might be a rotation embedded within this line. What we have to do is we have to examine the wind speed and the wind direction within the line. So with this velocity tool in this scope right there in this round area, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of x-ray the storm, and we're going to look at the velocity within the storm right up and down the line. So if we go down the line, where does it look like the winds are turning in on each other? Right there. You see it clearly right there in southern Lawrence County. So that's where we think the rotation is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this with just our velocity product. So we have turned the radar off completely. We're just looking at our velocity. And right there, the strongest winds indicated by the brightest pixels in green. And look at those wind speeds. 105, 88, 94. Now, this is not at ground level. This is at cloud level, but that just gives you an indication of some of the strongest winds that could be produced by this storm as it's working to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So what we need you to do, if you're ahead of this line is to take shelter right now. You see the base velocity is updating. We're going to get a scan every couple minutes with this, and when we do, we're going to notice everything progressing back off to the east. The latest scan just came in, so where are those strongest winds at cloud level? They are right now right along Highway 587 south and east of Monticello and Robin Hood in the southeastern corner of Lawrence County. That's where we've got the potential for damaging winds. That's where we have the potential for a tornado because of rotating winds within the line in this location. So we're looking at places like Arm and Tilton and Robin Hood right along and east of Highway 587. And as we zoom in here, you're going to see more of the smaller communities and some other streets beginning to pop in there. We'll query this road that goes from Arm to Oakville, that is Highway 43. This road right here, that is River Road. And then some of these smaller roads are going to pop in here. We're going to see if we can query those just so we can get a name on the map. So if you're familiar with this area, you can know exactly the areas that we're talking about here. So the areas between Robin Hood and Arm, Tilton and Oakville, between Highway 587 and Highway 43, along Sand Road, Divide Road, River Road, and then progressing towards Johnny Wilson Road and Progress Road. And then eventually, of course, this is going to get into southern Jefferson Davis County. That's Highway 13 north of Society Hill. So it's going to be transitioning here over the next several minutes from southeastern Lawrence County into southern Jefferson Davis County. So downstream, we're looking at areas south of Prentice, along Highway 42 from Carson to Bassville to Morris, and then north of Society Hill. And then also eventually this is going to be crossing Highway 35. So if it's moving at 30 miles per hour and the rotation is here, it's going to be crossing over the county line in about 4 minutes time. It's going to be crossing Highway 13 in about 8 minutes and should be crossing Highway 42 southeast of Prentice in about 15 minutes. That does not give you a lot of time to get into your safe spot. And the reason that tornado warnings are issued, the reason that we are on the air right now, is to give you that lead time, give you enough time to get to where you need to be in case a tornado does hit your area and damage is produced. So, of course, we've had our storm team here all day. Meteorologist Gracie Morris has been here. Now we've got Roberto Zamora here tracking these storms along with me. Roberto, I'm going to send it back over to you.
All right, thanks, Ken. Yeah, we're just seeing the same thing right now with this rotation that is going right near the Highway 587 area. So right over going to be the community of Tilton. So really strong winds. We got that notch. It is trying to just rotate itself and drop a system as of right now, which is the main reason why the National Weather Service decided to give this warning polygon into effect. So southern parts of Lawrence and Jefferson Davis counties, you are going to be in this polygon, and just getting clipped is going to be the northern part of Marion County. So if you're along the 587 area, this is going to be on top of you as of right now, and especially if you're in the community of Tilton. That's where we're seeing the best rotation and the main reason why we have this unfortunate tornado warning in effect. So if you are farther downstream, I am going to give you a timeline of when you can expect these storms to keep on making its way closer towards you. So let me just pull that up and let's get it going. And all right, here we go. So Tilton, it's right over you as of right now. Hopefully you are in your safe area. Of course, the basement is the most ideal area, if not interior room. But if you are farther downstream, like in Oakville, you got a little bit of time until about 4:26 p.m. Bassfield, you got until about 4:46 p.m. And then Terrell, you got until about 4:52 p.m. So now is the time to be acting. And if you are within those communities or inside the small parts, like if you're along Highway 35, Highway 13, Highway 43, now is the time to be acting, making sure that you are getting into your safer area of your home. Now we're going to take a little bit of a look at some other pallets that we have just to give us an idea if there's any debris getting lifted up, like a correlation coefficient value. So let me get those pulled up for you. And the nice thing is we're not seeing any debris signature associated with this velocity signature as well. If we were to see a debris signature, it'd be like a little ball that'd be right over there. And that gives us the idea that a tornado is on the ground and that debris is getting lofted up into the atmosphere. But I'm happy to say that we're not seeing that. So this is definitely a system that is either trying to rotate and get itself a little bit tighter and produce a tornado on the ground, or of course we're gonna have to act like there is one on the ground ground because we have this tornado warning. So if you are in the southern parts of Lawrence County and Jefferson Davis County, now is the time to be acting, making sure you're just getting into your safer area. So taking it back out to our velocity signature, we're still seeing the same area where it's trying to tighten up. And if you don't understand where specifically I'm talking about, it's right here, right over this little area going over the community of Tilton. So if you are in this little area right now, now is the time to be acting, like I said, and getting into your safer area, because we are seeing some rotation trying to occur right now. The system is definitely trying to at least drop a tornado on the ground if it hasn't already. So if you're right along the Highway 587 region, just in the southern parts of Lawrence County, just make sure you are now acting, getting into your safer area, and of course making sure you're away from those windows in the interior of your room, or of course if you have a basement or storm shelter, that is the most ideal area to put yourself in. And just take a look, like Ken was saying, you can't really tell on our reflectivity. There's just a lot of rain ahead of this system, so this is going to be a rain-wrapped tornado if it is on the ground. No point in trying to go out and look for it. Just make sure you're getting into your safer room. And of course, a ton of lightning strikes is associated with this as well, which really gives us the idea that this is a very strong storm that is moving its way through our southeastern parts of the Magnolia State for this evening. So taking just another look at this, the polygon hasn't been updated as of right now, and I am just checking with the National Weather Service as well, and they haven't given any updates as of yet. I will assume that they will be doing it soon, and of course, this tornado warning is going to be in effect until around 5 p.m. So our southern parts of Jefferson, Davis, and Lawrence County, they're in effect for this. In Marion County, just the very, very slim part of your northern county is going to be inside of this polygon as well. So if you are in any of those areas, like I've been saying, I know I sound like a broken record, but you need to be acting and making sure that you are getting into a safer area, because regardless, even if there isn't a tornado on the ground, these winds that are coming in, we've been seeing them gust up to around 50 miles per hour or even greater at times. These straight line winds can do just the same amount of damage as a tornado as if it was on the ground. And we've seen unfortunate events that has occurred earlier this morning into the afternoon where our homes have been damaged because of trees falling. Lots of power lines have been falling as well, and there's a good amount of people that are without power across the Magnolia State as of right now. So just like I said, regardless if a tornado is on the ground or not, it is a smart idea to be getting into a safer area as this line does keep on approaching you and getting closer towards your area. So we're going to keep on just dissecting this system as it keeps on moving its way farther downstream. And as you can see, it is going to be still right over the community till, and we haven't gotten an updated velocity signature just quite yet. And the National Weather Service really hasn't given us an update as of yet either. So as of right now, it should be passed over the community of Tilton. This is the area where we're seeing the tightest signature, trying to tighten up and drop a tornado on the ground as of right now. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we keep on moving downstream and getting into a safer area. I know we just got an update as I was speaking, which is good. So this is moving its way closer to Highway 43, so closer to the community of Oakville now. So you can see that tighter rotation still trying to occur as of right now. Nothing that is giving me the idea that it's super tight. Possibly a tornado is trying to drop its way to the ground, but just make sure you're getting into your safer area, especially if you are in the southern parts of Jefferson, Davis County, because this line of storms is heading directly towards you as I'm speaking. So now's the time to be acting, making sure you're just getting into a safer area, and in the interior of your room, like I said earlier, is the most ideal situation. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Ken South, just so he can give you an outlook and his opinion on this system as well.
All right, thank you, Roberto. Good job there. Yeah, it is east of Tilton now, I believe, and I think probably what's happening with the Weather Service is, I know what they're doing right now is they're canceling some of the counties out of the tornado watch. So they're busy doing that right now. And I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to wait until the rotation is obviously in the adjacent county farther east in Jefferson Davis County before they give us an update, and they trim all of Lawrence County out of the warning. Can't really do that because we think the rotation right now is pretty much along Highway 43, right around the county line. East of Tilton now, and continuing to move to the east and northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So give it a couple minutes, and I think this is going to be out of Lawrence County into Jefferson Davis County, and I'm sure certainly by the bottom of the hour, by 4:30, we're going to get an update from the Weather Service, and what they're likely going to do is they're going to take Lawrence County out, and this is just going to be a Jefferson Davis County storm. But for right now, there you see the red polygon. I think if you live to the west of Tilton and to the west of Highway 587 in Lawrence County. Even though technically you're under the tornado warning, the rotation is here to the east of you and it's moving away from you. So I think if you live along 587 and to the west of there, you're okay. If you've been in your safe spots, you can get out now. And actually, this is the leading edge of the severe weather event. So you should be done really with the severe weather. It's going to continue to rain. It's going to be windy, but severe weather threat's going to end as this line transitions to the east of where you are. Now, if you're in Jefferson Davis County, if you're in Northern Marion County, you're still going to be under the gun here over the next several minutes. Remember, the warning does go until the top of the hour until 5 o'clock. So that's about 35 minutes from right now. You see the area that we're talking about here. I'm analyzing this from the radar site in Rankin County near Brandon. There you see the arm of the radar rotating through. I do want to switch radar sites though, so you can see the difference here. This is our radar site from New Orleans. It's really, the radar's been moved to about the Hammond area. So there you see, we're analyzing it from a different radar. The colors switch around a little bit, but you're basically seeing just about the same thing, is that we've got rotation right there along the line, along Highway 43 between Society Hill and Arm, making its way quickly towards Highway 13. I'm going to switch back to the Jackson radar because I think that's a little bit closer to where this storm is going, and the warning is coming from the National Weather Service out of Jackson. So we're going to stick with the Jackson radar right here, and there you see how it's kind of transitioned out of Lawrence County. So now Jefferson Davis County under the gun here for a rotating storm that could put down a tornado over the next several minutes. And if it's moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour, we're going to track it to the edge of the county line, I should say, from Jefferson Davis into Covington County. That's going to be over about the next 30 minutes. And there you see the towns that appear within the cone that I just drew. So we think that these places are going to be in the path of the storm over the next several minutes. We're looking at Carson at 4:42, Bassfield at about 4:45, Terrell at 4:50, and Melba at about 4:52. If you're in these areas along Highway 13, Highway 35, Highway 42 in southern Jefferson Davis County, South of Prentiss, you need to be in your safe spot right now. And we've said it a lot. I know you've heard us repeat this many times, but there may be some folks that are just now tuning in, some folks that haven't been paying attention until now when the storm is approaching their area. If that is the case for you, a safe spot is below ground. You need to get to a storm shelter or a basement. If you have that option, that is your best option. If you don't, you need to get to the lowest floor of a sturdy structure in a small interior room, staying away from windows and doorways. So we're talking about places in the middle of the house on the ground floor, like a bathroom or a closet or a hallway, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Now, if you can, best case scenario, you can get under something sturdy like a table or a desk and then cover your body. That's going to give you the best opportunity if a tornado were to be moving through for you to get out safely. But this is what we're looking at right here. The storm moving from about the Highway 43 area right around the county line of Lawrence and Jefferson Davis, soon to cross Highway 13 over the next couple minutes. How close is it? Rotation is there. It is about 3 miles or 4 minutes away from crossing Highway 13. It's about 10 miles or 15 minutes away from crossing Highway 42. Now, where is it going to cross 42? It's too close to call. Is it going to cross near Carson? Is it going to cross near Bassfield? It could be any of those areas along Highway 42. So if you live southeast of Prentiss along Highway 42 in any of these communities, take shelter right now. Don't take a chance that this may pass to the north or to the south of you. Just get in your safe spot and wait until it passes to the east of you. Once it's to your east, you're good to go. And it'll be to the east of you and moving away from you. But right now, if you're in this area, it's moving towards you, and we are seeing the radar update here a little bit, and it looks like those winds are really beginning to turn in on each other right now. We've even got a spot of red popping up right there. That is a +7. That means those are outbound winds away from the radar site. In this case, those winds are moving down to the south here. They're moving away from the radar site in Rankin County. But look at these winds on the other side here. Now remember, not at ground level. This is at cloud level. But those are some pretty impressive winds. 50, 60 miles per hour, close to 70 miles per hour. That's the leading edge of the line. And right along the line, you see it's beginning to kind of twist in on each other with these winds coming in from this direction. Winds coming in from this direction here, and then moving in this direction on the other side. So obviously, that's where the rotation is, right there. So I'm sorry that it's a little messy here. I'm going to try to clean this up just a little bit so you can more clearly see where the rotation is. And it's in that circle right there that I just drew approaching Highway 13. I think that's going to be north of Society Hill and obviously south of Prentice. Let's get a closer look in. As we zoom in a little bit more to where the rotation is, you see those streets popping up. So Burnham Road, that's where it is right now. Crossing Highway 13 in the next minute or two, but of course areas downstream, that's where it's headed. So where it's going is Highway 42. Where it's going is going to be near Bassfield and Carson, and crossing Smith Road and Candy Lane and Greens Creek Road and Bass Burkett Road. All of those areas are going to see the worst part of the storm moving through over the next several minutes. All right, let's take a look at our debris signature just to make sure that we're not seeing anything in terms of debris being lofted into the atmosphere by the storm. And Roberto, you can let me know what you're seeing here. I don't see anything that's obvious to me.
Yeah,
that,
I'm not seeing anything
signature
obvious either. I do want to let you know that they did update the polygon as of right now. So I am going to read this for y'all, and I'm going to take over this just real quick, just to give you all the idea of what's going on. So as of right now, has picked up speed by just 5 miles per hour, was coming and moving its way east at 40. Now it's moving around 45 miles per hour, so still a fairly quick moving storm. But the nice thing is, if you're in parts of southern Lawrence County, now this has moved on away from you. But if you're in the southern part of Jefferson Davis, unfortunately, you are going to be in this tornado warning. And it does look like this velocity signature is trying to tighten up a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do is just clear out some of this and get you a closer look at that. So one of the unfortunate reasons why they decided to stick with this tornado warning is because, well, the circulation is still there. It still looks like this storm is trying to drop something, get a tornado on the ground, and also it is moving into more favorable conditions. So there is enough of that fuel out there to really just keep these storms strong, and of course, strong winds coming in and trying to go against each other as well. So taking a look at it, you can see this is the signature right around where it just moved its way across the Highway 13 area. This is where it's trying to tighten up. So just near the Prentice area, just a little bit south of it. So between Prentice and the community of Society Hill. So if you are farther downstream along basically between, let's say, Prentice all the way down to Morris along the Highway 42 area like Carson and Bassfield, you need to be getting into your safe spot as of right now. This system, like I said, is moving its way to the east at 45 miles per hour. So it is quickly going to be upon you. Now is the time to be acting, making sure you are in the safer area of your home. I know I sound like a broken record, and I've been saying it a lot, but basement is ideal situation, of course, but if you don't have that, like a lot of us don't, of course, the interior room is what you want, away from windows, because debris will be associated with this as it moves its way closer towards you. So even regardless if a tornado isn't on the ground, straight line winds can just do as much damage as well. So now's the time to be acting if you are especially in the Carson and Bassfield area, right between the Highway 42 area and between Prentice and Morris as well. And farther downstream, as you can see, if you are in areas like Dean or Terrell or Lone Star, now is the time to be acting as well, as this system is, the polygon is just going to be right near you. But of course, it does look like we are trying to see this tighter rotation keep on forming, and it does look like the system is trying to drop its way to the ground and produce a tornado. So like Ken was showing you earlier before I cut him off with the correlation coefficient values, luckily we're not seeing any debris signature as of right now, which doesn't give us an idea that this is a radar indicate or confirmed tornado. Luckily, it's just a radar indicated the possibility of one on the ground. And of course, we're going to keep on checking with those correlation coefficient values if a debris signature pops up. But as of right now, we're not seeing anything. So what we're just going to keep on taking a look at is going to be the storm relative velocity, seeing if there is a tighter signature really trying to form right now. And if it is anywhere, it has just moved its way right over the parts of Highway 13, getting closer to Carson and Bassfield, like I said. So you need to be acting. I know I said it a few times, but getting into your safer area is, of course, the ideal situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you an idea farther downstream, going just a little bit beyond the polygon, of where you, which areas are going to be affected next. So if you're in Carson, you got until about 4:40, so not much time at all. This system's going to be right upon you. Like I said, get into your safer area. Terrell, you got until about 4:47 p.m. and then 4:56 farther down, going into the areas closer to Williamsburg. So as the system keeps on moving its way east at 45 miles per hour, it is going to keep on trying to rotate and drop a tornado on the ground, or possibly there is one on the ground as of right now. So the time now is to be acting, making sure you and your family are safe, because we have this tighter velocity signature. It is definitely trying to rotate and drop something on the ground based on what I'm seeing from our velocities. So keep on making sure you're paying attention to us. If you need to go away from your TV, there's other ways so you can watch this. We should be live on Facebook as of right now. You can get our WJTV weather apps as well, so you can keep on watching through your phone if you have to go away from your TV, and of course, getting into your safer area. So those are some of the ways you can keep on tracking this storm system as we're tracking it as well. And I'm just going to keep on looking at this, and like I said earlier, completely rain-wrapped tornado. You're not going to be able to see it if you try to, so don't. Just stay in your home. Make sure you're staying safe, because there's a lot of lightning strikes, which is also a good indicator that this system is moving its way into a more favorable atmosphere, which means there's enough fuel for this system to really become strong, and the reason why we do have a tornado warning. So I'm going to keep on taking a look at the storm relative velocity as it keeps on moving its way farther downstream. And I'm going to keep on checking with the National Weather Service as well. For now, I am going to send it back over to Chief Meteorologist Ken South, just so he can give you an idea of what he's seeing.
All right. Yeah, basically the rotation is right there approaching Highway 42. And we were talking about Bassfield and Carson before. I really think it's going to be closer to the Carson area. But if you're in Bassfield, just play it safe. Go ahead and stay in your safe spot. You won't have to be there too much longer, because the storm is moving fairly quickly. We did, when we got that update from the National Weather Service a few minutes ago, the forward motion of the storm did change just a little bit, now moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. Speaking of the update from the National Weather Service, there it is. And I was talking about this before, that I thought they were probably waiting until the storm was totally in Jefferson Davis County to issue an update and trim out Lawrence County from the warning. That's pretty much what happened at the bottom of the hour. So if you're in Lawrence County, you're not in the warning anymore. You're good. It's just a Jefferson Davis County storm. And because the storm is moving really so quickly, and I think the rotation is right about here, and I'm going to circle it just to the south and west of Carson. I think if you live to the west of even Highway 13 in Jefferson Davis County, which runs south out of Prentice, I think if you live to the west of there, you're also okay. It's areas to the east of there, especially along Highway 42. And as we get the radar to update there you see some of those stronger winds now approaching the highway and the town of Carson. So I'm going to query some of these winds. Again, cloud level, but still very strong winds at about 60 miles per hour on the leading edge here. And then on the back side of this, we've got winds that are moving in the other direction, coming in behind the storm. So that's where we've got a rotation. It is right there. I'm going to circle it once again so you'll know exactly what we're talking about, and it's going to be right in about this area. So that's where our rotation is. So if we know where it is, we want to let folks know where it is going. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to push this back to the left portion of the screen, and areas downstream or east of the storm, that's where it's going. So it's going to be crossing Highway 42 here in the next few minutes, and then eventually it's going to be crossing Highway 35 in about 5 minutes time. It's about 4 miles away, and then it's going to be near the community of Dean in about 11 minutes. Current time is about 4:39, so 11 minutes would be about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Don't wait until 4:50, though, until you get into your safe spot. If you live in or near Dean, you need to be getting there over the next couple of minutes, because the storm is rapidly approaching you, and we should note that what you're seeing on the screen here is going to be delayed by a minute or two. Our radar's got to input the data, and we get a scan every minute or so. So what you're seeing here is probably a delay of about a minute or two old. So this says 11 minutes, but it's probably really less than 10 minutes away from reaching you if you're in the Dean community in the very eastern portion of Jefferson Davis County. So the question is, are they going to keep this going farther east past where the current warning is? And I got to tell you, this is a pretty good sign of a rotation right here. So it's possible that the National Weather Service out of Jackson could issue another tornado warning past 5 o'clock for Covington County and possibly Jones County as well. Just keep that in mind if you're in these areas. The storm right now is near Carson, but if we take this out farther in time past the county line, which we think it's going to be past the county line in about 10 minutes, that's eventually going to take it into Covington County, and it could be anywhere from Collins to Seminary in about 20 minutes from now at the top of the hour. So even though you're not under a tornado warning, just know that we've got a dangerous storm that at a minimum could produce potentially damaging winds of 60 miles per hour. And there's a potential here for rotating winds that could put down a tornado over the next several minutes. That is approaching your area at about 45 miles per hour, and it should be there within 15 to 20 minutes if you live along Highway 49 in Covington County from Collins down to about Seminary. But really, I think Collins, because this is moving a little bit north and east, not just directly east, I think northeast. So really Collins is the area that I think is going to be under the gun here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Let's zoom in to where the rotation is right now, because we've gotten another scan on Live IMAX 12 of our velocity product. And there you see how it's kind of shifting now to the east of Prentice and to the east of Carson and to the east of Highway 42 and now approaching Highway 35. So the areas that are being affected right now, east of Prentice, around Lone Star, Terrell, Dean, Bassfield, and Carson, and Highway 35. That is the area that we're talking about here. And let's zoom in to where we've got this rotation that could be putting down a tornado at a moment's notice, shifting east of Carson towards Highway 35, around Terrell, Dean, and Cantwell Mill, and north of Bassfield. And these roads, Good Hope Road, Graves Road, Santee Baptist Church Road, Black Jack, New Chapel Road, all of these areas are going to be affected by the storm, whether it's producing a tornado or not, over the next several minutes. How much time have we got? Highway 13, it's 2 minutes away, and it should be crossing over now into Covington County in about 8 minutes' time. It's yeah, go ahead, Roberto.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update just based on what the National Weather Service is saying. They do not plan on extending this tornado warning farther downstream just because the circulation, the velocity has become weaker. So they are planning on possibly just canceling a little bit earlier, not letting it run the full extent to around 5 p.m. So, of course, we'll just keep on tracking that and just wanted to let you know.
All right, good. I see that now in chat. Thanks for letting me know. So, good news. Still, if you're in Covington County, notice that we just got a severe thunderstorm warning issued for Covington County. So I think that, well, there we go. They just canceled the warning. So that severe thunderstorm warning is going to replace our tornado warning because the rotation is a little bit weaker, beginning to line out just a little bit. And as you see the velocity product updating here, that you see it's not really a tight rotation anymore, definitely shifting to the east of Prentice and Carson and along Highway 35, but the tornado warning for Jefferson Davis County has been dropped, and they have now extended a severe thunderstorm warning into Covington County. I want to query that just to let you folks know. In Covington County, what you are looking at, they're still keeping a tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning, which tells us that there's still a little bit of something there. And if they see it possibly tighten back up again, they will certainly upgrade the current severe thunderstorm warning back to a tornado warning. But for right now, it's a severe thunderstorm warning until 6 p.m. with a tornado possible tag. And I'm going to read out what they said at 4:40, 4 minutes ago. this severe thunderstorm warning was issued for Covington County. Severe thunderstorm for Covington County until 6 p.m. It was located along a line extending from near Mount Olive to near Lone Star, also near Bassfield, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. What makes this storm severe is the fact that it is capable of producing wind gusts of about 60 miles per hour. It should be near Mount Olive at 4:45, Collins at 4:50, Seminary at 5 p.m., and Sanford at about 10 minutes after 5 o'clock. So that is the latest. Basically, this entire line of storms stretching from north to south is severe, from Smith County down through Simpson, Jefferson Davis, Covington, Marion, Walthall, and Pike counties. And it looks like we've got warnings here until at least 6 p.m. And if you live east of there along Interstate 49 into the Pine Belt, this is what's headed your way for later this evening, past sunset, and the sun does go down at about 6 p.m. The severe weather threat ending, though, farther to the west. There you see the leading edge of the line is right there in Jackson. Still raining, but the severe weather threat is now done. And remember, we do not have any more tornado warnings. I'm going to take a look at the watch. Yeah, and you see the tornado watch has been pared down as well. So the metro not in the watch anymore, just the purple shaded counties, which is basically east of the metro and the Pine Belt in that tornado watch until 7 p.m. So what we are going to do now is we're going to reset. We're going to go to a commercial break for the next couple of minutes, and we will be back to resume our newscast, 12 News at 4. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.